6 and 11. Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Brett Thomas.
300. That's how many heart transplant Lutheran hospitals performed in the last 30 years.
Each of those surgeries brought a second chance at life. And tonight, News Channel 15's Alyssa Ivinson continues our series, Heart to Heart, in our story for your well-being.
Tonight, we have the stories of two patients, one of the first to have a heart transplant at Lutheran in 1985, and the most recent, done 2 months ago today.
What if he doesn't get a heart? What if we only get this 6 months or the next year together?
Based on the numbers, you're not leaving without a heart.
Being on a transplant list as a family is a very scary place. It has virtually every emotion that you can imagine. It has fear, it has scare, it has guilt, it has excitement.
His blood pressure came up very nicely, and he has done very well since that time.
We walked out of that south side of Lutheran, and when we did that, it was just like, wow.
Two stories decades apart, two lives given another chance.
My dad had unbelievable courage.
August 1984, Bill Kretzinger developed a cough that wouldn't go away. After months of testing, he was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy.
Basically, the heart swells.
May 1985, Bill is put on the list for a transplant at Lutheran. At the time, they had not done one before. 2 months later, July 30th, 1985, Bill became the second transplant patient at Lutheran Hospital.
From the second we walked in that door, it was as if they had done that 1,000 times. It was incredible. And to think that that was only the second time they'd ever done that, and the first time was 10 days ago.
Bill's son Reggie was 15 at the time. He remembers the difference a new heart made in his dad was almost immediate.
The next day, at around 2, he stood and said he's good.
Bill's donor was a 13-year-old boy killed in a moped crash.
To help a stranger with the immaculate gift of kindness is unbelievable. You're the biggest hero, without question, without doubt.
His heart gave Bill 18 and a half more years, the chance to see his children grow up, get married, have children of their own, to take trips and adventures, to live.
It's living life in awesome mode. You shed everything that doesn't mean anything. Us as a family, we never took it for granted. We knew that we got a second shot.
The picture of Bill leaving Lutheran, embarking on his second chance, hangs on the hospital wall, a symbol of the program. But to Reggie, it also is a message to other people waiting for a heart, a message of hope.
Somewhere out there, there's a family, they're on the list. It's dark, they're worried, they're concerned. They're going to get through it, and it means that there's a point in time where you come out of that, and it's absolutely amazing.
Jeff Mullen is just getting started on his post-transplant journey.
And I'll think, wow, there's a completely different heart in here.
Jeff was born with a heart defect. Surgeries and medications helped for years, and Jeff made do, even working in the restaurant service industry.
I could carry a 50-pound CO2 jug up a flight of stairs and take a minute to kind of recover a little bit and then go back to work, and you just manage. I'm going to, work as hard as I can and do what I can while I can until somebody stops me, and they stop me, so.
He was extremely sick. I mean, his heart was huge.
What Jeff and his wife Stephanie thought was a routine checkup ended up being the day Jeff was told the time for a transplant had come.
Here I just met the man of my dreams, the love of my life, my best friend, my partner in crime, and thinking, well, what if he doesn't get a heart?
He was on the list for about 6 weeks. Then 5/15/15, a palindrome day, which Jeff loves. He became Lutheran's 300th heart transplant patient.
I took the stairs coming up here, and didn't have any appreciable effort. Even just sitting here right now, I can't feel any palpitations. And I actually literally used to be able to see my heart beating on my rib cage right there.
2 months out, Jeff is doing great.
It's made our future brighter. It's made things that weren't accomplishable, now accomplishable and accessible. We can visit national parks, we can hike the dunes, we can ride bicycles. I mean, these were all things that we couldn't do together.
Next week, we have the stories of 3 more heart transplant patients. A man who's had his heart for more than 20 years. A woman who, after basically growing up in hospitals, is finally healthy. And we revisit Jerry Volz. We were there for his transplant 5 years ago. See how he's doing now when Heart to Heart continues next Wednesday at 5. For Stories for Your Well-Being, I'm Alyssa Ivinson.
Wow, incredible story. Up next, Nicholas will have one last check of that 7-day plan. Stay with us.